That's the news.
And thanks for stopping by.
The Herd Lie News.
That's no shot at Tobias Harris. But if you say the movie has Ryan Gosling, Chris Pratt, and Screech from Saved by the Bell, you could just leave the last guy off. Is that fair to say?
No, Tobias Harris.
But that's not a slight against Tobias Harris. You just called him Screech.
Yes. So, yes,
I'm sorry. That was rude. That was rude. I was a jerk.
I understand what you're saying. It's like another tier of player, but.
All right. Let's go via the Cowherd Global Satellite Network. My buddy, Nick Wright's going to be in a bad mood this morning. He's not going to be in a good mood. I floated this out there, and I said, I'm not saying it's true. I just thought about it. I said, listen, is Harden a better version of Westbrook where he is relentless in January and chasing something, and then all of a sudden you get to the playoffs and he's not quite as crisp? Now, he's better than Westbrook. He's a better shooter. I think he's a better player and a better teammate. But what are you seeing with Harden, Nick? He doesn't look quite as dynamic today, does he?
So you're doing the old, I don't know if it's true. It's just what I'm hearing. Who does that remind me of? I can't put my finger on it. Well, listen, Harden obviously is not as efficient in the playoffs as he is the regular season. And when you are the only true superstar on a team and the playoffs come around, and when they have to build an entire defense around stopping you, and you don't have a Steph and you don't have a Clay as a second or tertiary option, then yeah, this is going to happen. But here's something I think will surprise you. In this series against the Warriors, Colin, Kevin Durant and James Harden, exact same amount of points on the exact same amount of shots. So maybe the demise of James Harden has been slightly exaggerated. Now, the Rockets lost yesterday not because of James Harden. Harden was bad early. He got hurt, and when he came back, he was really extraordinary from once he came back from the eye injury. They lost yesterday because somehow the zero-time defending champion Houston Rockets came out with less focus and intensity than the two-time defending champion Golden State Warriors. The Rockets in that first quarter, 9 turnovers. You give up 8 offensive rebounds. Yeah. They deserved to lose that basketball game yesterday. Golden State came out hungrier with more attention to detail, which for a Rockets team who has been obsessed with the Golden State Warriors for the last 5 years, to not come out ready in the biggest game you've played since Game 7 of last season, that was disappointing.
Yeah, that was very big of you, because I know that you've got some visceral connections, emotional connections I really like. Now, I'm going to give you a second angle. Is that this is the way it works often? It works in fours. And I've always, you and I have, I don't know if we've agreed, but Magic saved the league. Michael made it global. LeBron made it mobile, and Steph revolutionized it. Will KD just be remembered as amazing? It's like centers. Russell's the accomplished. What we had, Wilt was the statistical monster. Kareem had the unstoppable shot, and Shaq was the most popular, and right? Shaq. And Hakeem is just
and Hakeem
amazing.
Gets forgotten. Sure.
Yeah. Is part of this thing with Kevin Durant, and I kind of understand it. If he goes to New York, it's like, man, Odin got drafted over me. Steph's more popular. LeBron's more. I'm always 2. I want to be 1. What do you make of my angle on that?
Well, listen, I think you're finally coming around to the logical opinion, which is if Kevin Durant wants to prove to anybody how great he actually is, it cannot happen as the Robin to Steph Curry's Batman. It just can't. Like, I understand that he's your new BFF, and I respect it. I'm a little jealous, but it's fine.
Yeah.
And this multi-month love letter you're writing him. But let's just assume the Warriors win this title, right? Yeah. So we give them 3 in 3 years.
Yeah.
Let me ask you a question.
Okay.
If over the last 3 years you took KD, his spot on the Warriors, and you gave it to Harden, would KD with the Rockets with no Harden have any titles or any appearances? No. But would the Warriors still have all 3 if it was Harden, Steph, and Clay? Well, yeah, of course they would. If you flipped KD and Kawhi, would the Warriors have all 3 titles? Well, yeah, they would. KD and LeBron, well, of course, yes, obviously they would. So we need, if you want Kevin Durant to chisel out a face on Mount Rushmore, he's going to have his Mount Rushmore moment, which is what Steph had 5 years ago when he did it himself which what LeBron had 4 years ago when he did it himself, what Akeem, if we're being honest, had when Jordan retired. He can't do that in Golden State. It's the reason he would leave. It's the reason there's no reason for him to stay. He's right now, I think a lot of people think, the most skilled player currently in the playoffs. But he's going to leave these 3 years with 0 top 5 in the regular season MVPs and real question about, is he even the best guy on his own team? You must, figuratively go east, my son, and do it on your own. Not with the team that was a champion before you got there.
Yeah, that you're kind of marginalizing him a tad, but I'll say
I'm not. He might be the best player on the team, but we won't know it.
First of all, your argument that if you put Harden, Clay, and Steph together, they'd win titles. There's one ball. They're all guards. I don't think that's an automatic, although I think they would be dynamic. I think Kevin Durant.
Hold on.
Yes.
What? Well, Colin, you're telling me that if 3 years ago, when KD went there, coming off the 73 wins, if Harden goes there instead and KD goes to Houston, you think we have different champions? You really believe that?
I don't think necessarily KD wins a bunch of titles in Houston, but I think Kevin Durant's a better fit in Golden State with the best shooting backcourt in my life than Harden would be in that backcourt. I think it would be harder.
He's a better fit, but of course he's a better fit. But my point is, you put any top 10 player in KD's spot and put KD in wherever that player's spot is, the Warriors are still the team winning titles because he was a luxury to begin with. But I apologize. I don't want to take up time for you to spend time being more wrong about the Bucks, so I'll shut up so we can get to that.
Okay, so I like Boston to win the series. I picked them. I don't buy into...
Shocker.
I know. Yeah, by the way, I like winners. Milwaukee is your classic Derrick Rose Bulls. Young, thoughtful, they work hard. The regular season means a lot. But can't you acknowledge that opening game loss was the series? Boston's in their head. They stole home court. It is over figuratively. How about that?
Okay, how about that? I'm so glad I'm back here today because last week I had to own that you may have possibly been right about Westbrook, and now we're back to our regular homeostasis of this lunacy. Boston, you like winners. Yes, credit to the Boston Celtics, the owners of one NBA championship since before the Clinton administration. Listen, the one title in 30 years and they're hanging banners is what you're trying to tell me. Oh, all those big games Jason Tatum has won. Wait, those don't exist. People are not used to watching the Milwaukee Bucks. So let me remind them, what they did yesterday is what they've done to teams all year. Game 4 against the Detroit Pistons. Midway through the third quarter, the Pistons are up 4. And then Milwaukee hits them with a 45-10 avalanche. Midway through the third quarter yesterday, it's a 3-point game. It's a good game. And then Milwaukee hits them with a 31-4 avalanche. 20 made threes is not an outlier performance for the second best 3-point shooting team in the league. Choking out Boston offensively is not an outlier performance for the best defense in basketball. Weird things happen in game 1. LeBron's won 3 titles. He's lost game 1 of those finals every single year, if I remember correctly. The first year against the Spurs, he lost 2 of the 3 years. Pardon me. Wait, game 1, the Raptors lost to the Magic. The Sixers lost to the Nets. We can't act like game 2 didn't happen because it doesn't fit with what you want to happen in this series. Milwaukee has been great for 88 games. They have now 50 times this year, 5-0, beaten a team by double digits. It is one of the highest totals in NBA history. Every team at 45+ has gone on to win the title. Now, I don't know that they're going to win the title because Golden State is a monster. I do know they're going to beat this mediocre Celtics team. This Celtics team that has been an idea, never great, never anything special, no experience winning. Oh, you got to give them all the credit in the world. Why? Because 2 years ago, they went to the conference finals with the little Isaiah Thomas. Because last year, they made it to the conference finals. That's with no Kyrie. That's the credit. This year's Celtics team has been what we've seen in this series, up and down. The Bucks have been nothing but up. You're going to see that when they wrap this thing up in 5 or 6.
Exhausting, but nonetheless very fun. Nick Wright, you could never invite us to the same party because we would just suck the air out of the room, Joy. He'd be talking, I'd be arguing.
You'd both be arguing the entire time.
I love him. Nick Wright.
Wow, Joy just seems to be dripping with a little disdain. I know I haven't seen you in quite some time. That was mean.
No,
I like
you
your
guys just
hair,
like
by the
to
way,
argue.
Joy. You look lovely.
Thank you. We're both doing the new haircuts.
Well,
yeah, we got to go, Nick.
listen, I try not to. I got to go. I try not to argue with my friend Colin, but it just would help me if he was right more often. We wouldn't have to argue so much.
Nick Wright, first things first. I enjoy the heck out of that. Getting clobbered by Nick Wright. I got so much stuff today. I don't even know where to go. I have so much stuff to